My dad is a first-generation American. His dad, they were an English and Scottish family, but came from Jamaica. They had been there several generations, and then his dad immigrated to the U.S. when he was a teenager. And then my dad's mom was actually born in the U.S., but her mom was pregnant with her when they came over, like through Ellis Island. So, first she was Scottish and Swedish. And my mom, on my mom's side, it's kind of sad that we really don't know too much back beyond like her grandparents, because she grew up really poor in Kentucky, Western Kentucky, and she was an orphan when she was 14. When I think about LGBTQ issues, very different attitudes, because they've kind of come of age when the rules were different. What was seen as normal versus out of the mainstream is different. And so you see how it changes attitudes.
Definitely.
Yeah. And a lot of people in my generation and older than me, some stuff is really hard for them to even wrap their brain around. And I'm sure that when you get to have kids, if you have kids, or you just look down at people 25 years younger than you, it'll be the same thing. You're like, well, they get all this. And it's really hard for us. Yeah. So I did, when I was in law school, I wanted to do appeals, so arguing like the Supreme Court, and that's mainly what I did, and I loved that. But I also started teaching pretty early in my legal career, and there was a time when I thought I would maybe want to become a full-time professor. I ended up not doing that. And in some ways, being a judge, there's a lot of professor aspects. I feel at home in this world because it's important work, and it's important that people see that there's a place for them at the table too. So I love that. My favorite activity of being a justice is I love legal analysis. I'm still that kind of lawyer. I was an appellate lawyer. I love digging into the cases and trying to figure out why did we say it this way? Did somebody make a mistake, back in some case there, or did they miss the point, or did we lose a thread? I love that kind of reconstruction of history. It's very historical. I love that part of it. And also, some of that is also applying common sense. That's a lot of what I work with my law clerks on. They're very good lawyers. They're top of their class, smart. They don't necessarily have the experience to just take a step back and say, well, okay, what are we trying to accomplish, right? Why do we even have this rule? Well, it's supposed to make sure the evidence that comes in is reliable. Okay, so if reliability is the issue, what would make it more reliable if this is true versus if that was true? Does that make any sense? Because that's a fair question to ask when you look at any body of law. Yeah. Does that make any sense? And because if it doesn't, then we should think about where it came from.